Here.
Vice Chair Anderson,
Present.
Chair Kinlock,
Present.
you have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda.
Item B, Chairman's remarks.
I have no remarks at this time. Next item on the agenda.
Item C, approval of the June 23rd, 2022 meeting minutes.
A motion
moved.
is in order.
So moved.
Is there support? Is there support? Support. Okay. It's been moved and supported to approve the meeting minutes from June 23rd, 2022. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, this action stands approved. Next item on the agenda.
Page 2, item D1 under new business, communication from James Heath Corporation Counsel forwarding the January to June 2022 meeting reports on the criminal justice complex.
Chair will recognize Corporation Counsel James Heath for the purpose of a report. Receive and file, the next one. Okay. Okay, let's see. So we have the reports. Committee members, you've had an opportunity to review the report. A motion is in order to receive and file the report.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Is there support? Support has been moved and supported to receive and file. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, this action stands approved. Next item on the agenda is, Madam Chair.
Item D2.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you. Item D2, an update from James Heath, Carter Fisher, Jay Shander, Bill Rath, and Victoria Ennis Edwards regarding the status of the criminal justice complex.
Chair recognizes James Heath for the purpose of a report.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, James Heath, Wayne County Corporation Counsel. I have Carter Fisher, Victoria Ennis Edwards, Michael Al, Bill Jones, Will, your last name? Will Golston here. Never have so many people come to perhaps say so little. We are happy to be here with you today. I also have Bill Rath from CGL on the call, and I believe per your request, Mr. Chairman, there's a representative from the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, who, as you know, represents probably one of our most prominent end users, and you would express the opportunity to ask questions or hear any concerns. And so at the conclusion of our remarks, hopefully you'll give Chief Dunlap or his representative an opportunity to share with you their thoughts in general. We will continue to invite end users to this meeting as you have requested. As you well know, normally we have what we call our OAC meeting, which is a meeting of all of the general contractor, the subcontractors, some of them, as well as the developer, Rock. And that meeting typically takes place prior to our subcommittee hearing. Because it was moved up, we have that meeting later on this week. And so we're going to be supplementing our normal report for you after that. That's where we learn, that's where we consolidate a lot of the information that this committee reviews. And so that's going to be forthcoming by the end of this week. So you'll be able to review that. But I did want to give you a little bit of an update on some of the things that we have been doing since our last meeting. And it primarily centers around our changes to procurement and really kind of getting our own house in order, if you will. We've talked for several months now about the large list of contracts that we need to do, services and goods we need to procure to get into the CJC effectively. We had initial conversations with Chairwoman as well as Commission staff about that issue. And we talked a little bit more perhaps about what would happen after we got the contracts to the Commission queue and how we would proceed. But there have been a number of changes, as you well know, within our procurement system and department, where we've had to really focus for the last 30 days or so on our process to get those things to you in a workable fashion. And so just some of the things that I'm prepared to talk about right now, the most notable is we've assigned 2 additional people from Corporation Counsel, full-time staff, attorneys who are already working within our department to help with the contract management process, working along with our end users and the procurement department to make sure that when things get into your queue, they are as tight as they possibly can be. And so we just formally brought those people on this month, or reassigned those people. And so we've been going through some orientations with them and getting them acclimated to what's going to happen. We divided up the contracts amongst those people. They will be working very closely with our leadership team. Carter Fisher, who's been on this project for 2 years now, along with me, is going to be working very closely with them and providing some direction. We're also bringing in another clerk who's going to be working with Corporation Counsel. He's starting on the 25th of this month to help support that effort. Khalil Rahal has assigned a full-time person from Economic Development to help on this work as well. And so we really are kind of buttressing our team to make sure that we have all our T's crossed and I's dotted, and that we can move these things to the point where they can be reviewed and hopefully approved by the commission per the conversations that we've had. So that is something that has been taking up pretty much all of our time from the executive side. And we hope to have that concluded very shortly. Another thing which is important, and this can be a segue into discussions that Carter is going to have, but the bus routes, DDOT bus routes, will need to be changed to accommodate the new traffic that's coming into the CJC. One of the most important things is people being able to get to low-cost transportation, get to the CJC for whatever purpose that they're going to be there. And so we want to get ahead of that process, and hopefully it's not inappropriate for me to beg you in the service, Mr. Chairman, being that this is your home commission district. We'd like to meet with you to help us with furthering that. That's going to involve conversations with the city of Detroit and DDOT, and so that by the time we open, we can make sure that the facility is serviced well by DDOT. And so in addition to your normal duties, we're going to press you in the service on that point. And hopefully you can work on helping us to quarterback that effort if you're so inclined to do so.
I'd love to. Thank you.
Thank you. There have been some recent developments. We've talked for a while about the substation, which is a parcel which is not within the CJC technical footprint, but that what we are hoping to use for some parking. And we had been having some discussions with how we can best effectuate that. That's something that Mr. Fisher has been working on. And so I'll bring Carter up if he wants to give you a little bit of update on that, and then we'll continue on.
Good afternoon, Carter Fisher with Wayne County Corporation Counsel. So as James mentioned, we've been working pretty much since the start of the project on various stages of removing a Detroit Public Lighting substation that sits directly in front of the main court building at the CJC. The substation was actually still in use while the project was beginning, so we worked with the city of Detroit to get the substation out of use and transfer the systems that were being powered over to other substations. And then recently, actually within the last week, we've had the substation demolished and abated for environmental concerns. So that's cleared way for new parking that will sit directly in front of the building. And as with the commission has expressed concerns with parking, and we're working on mitigating any of those concerns. And so this is a step towards that. So we're waiting right now on an estimate from ROC on what that parking cost will be, but we expect that it'll expand parking, as I said, right in front of the building.
Thank you. At this time, are there any questions? The chair recognizes Vice Chair Anderson.
Thank you. Carter, I just wanted to ask you about that parking lot potential expansion over where the substation was. Is that going to be timing wise where they're not going to have to tear up for the drainage, of the existing parking lot, and I'm not sure what stage, because we haven't been on the site in some time. whether or not there's any paving that's taken place already or not.
So there hasn't been paving in this area yet. And so we're hoping that the project will just coincide perfectly in terms of timing with paving this area and not having to do any rework or anything like that.
Thinking of the drainage issues and
Yeah.
potential running of water lines for fire hydrants and things like that. But
Yeah, I don't think that we haven't heard any concerns about that. We worked with DWSD on this as well, and we have not heard any issues about that.
good move, I think. And is it going to be a sufficient addition to the parking needs to address the parking needs of the project, the whole project?
I think we'll still pursue other strategies in terms of adding parking, but it will go some distance towards helping us. Yeah.
Any idea how many additional parking spots this is going to create?
I don't think we know that yet until Rock bids it out for us.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. And then also I think we got from our staff, Tim Johnson. I thought I saw an email come in about the new tour date to actually go and see the facility. Tim, yes, I think. Yeah, Tim. Yeah. Yes, I got it. Tim.
Through the chair, Tim Johnson, we have set a date, Thursday, August 18th, 3 p.m. for the jail tour.
Thank you. Yeah. Look forward to it. Okay, so one thing I know that we're all trying to get to the end of, or the completion as relates to the construction of this complex. Just wanted to, you and I have been talking about some of those, I guess, those long-term conversations that you've been having with the chief judge at Third Circuit, along with the administration in regards to a potential another a component of this as it relates to the family court conversations. How is any of that, possibility, just the mere possibility, is that being considered or taken under any type of consideration when it comes to the possibility of further expansion as relates to the uses associated with this complex?
So the short answer to that is yes. In terms of the decisions that we're making with respect to design of our current facilities and the like,
uses right now.
those are based on
Absolutely.
our uses right now.
Yes.
What I can tell you is that leadership in the county, when we are discussing things such as, bus routes, even, thinking about our options with respect to a host of issues, certainly within the back of our mind are our needs with respect to other courts. But we are not at the point where we are tying those decisions just because our designs for everything from our lots to our main buildings have had to have been solidified. But as I have assured you, conversations with respect to civil side of our courts is definitely something that we continue to discuss with
That was my way
Chief Judge and the like.
That was my way of nudging a little bit, because I think that's very important. It'd be a good public policy, action for us to really actually execute that. So I just, that was a little nudge there.
I feel your hand at my back, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, no, so also, I believe that you resolved, there were some earlier labor concerns from some unions. And from what I understand, they've been addressed.
We hope so. As I filled you in with, there was work being conducted at in the courthouse regarding audio and visual capabilities within the courtrooms. And we've had discussions with IBEW, the local, I believe it's 58, regarding work being done by their union members. We have put a local union contractor in touch with the firm that is going to be doing that work, that wiring and the like. And we do not have a signed agreement yet, but we are well on our way towards that. And so that's a positive development. We're just working out the exact details of the amount for the quote that we've received and how that will alter the overall quote for the entire work being done. But we are well in advance of where we were when I first raised that issue with you, Mr. Chairman. And so I'm pretty confident by the next time we meet as a subcommittee, we will have that contract concluded.
Okay, is there any additional information that you or your team who would like to bring before us?
I would like to give Victoria Ennis Edwards an opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the inclusion progress which has been made, and then we can return to any more questions, or if you'd like to have
The end users.
the end users discuss anything, we're happy to do that as well.
Thank you.
Through the chair, Victoria Ennis Edwards, Director of Wayne County's Human Relations Business Inclusion Division. Just a quick update. Right now, we are trending at 58% of our total spend is with Wayne County certified businesses. So that translates just roughly over $258 million that we have spent with Wayne County businesses. Also, for our minority-owned businesses, we're at a full 6%, and that translates to slightly under $25 million. And then for our women-owned businesses, we're at 2% overall, and we are just under $8 million with them as well for the total spend. Why these numbers are significant is we have been able to track very consistently the majority of the project where we're moving back and forth. I'd say no more than 2 points for county-based, minority, and women-owned. We have not abandoned the outreach efforts. Matter of fact, August the 9th, I have a workshop working with Warren Connor Business Association and some of the smaller business associations on the east side. Again, recruiting and educating, so it's a nonstop workshop over and over. The more people that we can get certified and in our repertoire, the further that we can grow it. So again, the focus and having the time and the focus with the CJC has allowed us to also springboard in other areas. So again, we're very happy with our numbers. Trending right now, we're about at 36% overall Wayne County resident participation. But also we have no Wayne County residents on the benches either. So we've been talking to some of the unions as our numbers, we were hoping they would, we could, knock this out of the park. It would be great if this could be 50-50. But the reality is between the CJC, the Hudson's Project, the Gordy Howell Bridge, and several other economic development projects that are going on. The good news sounds like bad news, but it's good news. We don't have a plethora of Wayne County residents sitting looking for those jobs. They're being turned over. You'll have some that work one reporting on CJC, the next reporting they might be at the Hudson's building. So the overall success and making sure that our citizens are on these projects and working is a resounding, wonderful result, and we hope to keep it that way. That is my information.
And that's great to hear. And also it's great to hear that we're, still within, budgets. And that's, appreciate all the work that you're doing. Let me ask, are there any questions from any of the committee members? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
I neglected to see Melissa Fernandez from JDF is here, another one of our end users. And so if there's particular questions, I don't think she has a report that she would like to give on behalf of her transition, but she is here if the committee members have any questions.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I would like to ask any of the end users who are present by Zoom, if you have any questions, thoughts, or if you have any questions or comments as it relates to the progress, as it relates to where we are with the CJC.
Good afternoon, it's Chief Dunlap, Wayne County Sheriff's Office. How are you?
Good afternoon. Okay, can you speak louder?
I'm sorry, I had this meeting for 30 Thursday, and I got a call that it was going today. But just wanted to get on and just, share with the commission through the chair that, number one, we're cautiously optimistic about the progress of the project, looking very, very forward to getting out of the 3 old jails into the 1 consolidated jail. In our opinion, the progress is going well. But as with anything, it's like building a new house. And so there's always some concerns, but those concerns are currently being addressed by the county and CGL with the vendor, and in particular, concerns regarding our alarm system and how that's going to operate, our fire alarm, as well as the furniture design and space. But as I indicated, the county and CGL are working through those concerns right now with HOK. And so that's all I have, cautiously optimistic, but, just want to acknowledge that it's like anything else, it's a cautious optimism. And we hope that these issues will be resolved very soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Dunlap. And with that, Mr. Heath, does that conclude your report and your colleagues? Okay. Are there any additional questions from any of the committee members? Okay. At this time, we will now, Madam Secretary, next item on the agenda.
Item E, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I know of none. Next item on the agenda.
F, public comments.
Can you please unmute everyone on Zoom? And I'd like to ask first if there's anyone in the audience who would like to address the committee. If you would, please step forward. Okay, if not, anyone on Zoom?
All lines have been asked to unmute.
Okay, once again, anyone on Zoom? Last call, anyone on Zoom?
I see no hands.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda.
Adjournment.
Motion is in order to adjourn. Is there support? Been moved and supported to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.